You know the feeling of missing out on a very hyped book where no book will ever seem as interesting or as joyful of an experience until you get this one book out of your mind. I'm currently experiencing this book FOMO, and no matter what book I pick up, I'm left uninterested. So I followed my never-ending annoying mind and started reading the beloved book Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, with almost 1 million ratings and 177,000 reviews on Goodreads, with the average rating of 4.16 stars from around 1 million people, which is absolutely crazy. The people that I admire in the book sphere have rated this book highly, which is kind of nerve-wracking. What if it is a disappointment because of the high expectations I put upon the book? Well, we are here to find out how good this book really is. I hope you join me for the ride. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Christine and I make book-related content on YouTube and I guess a little bit on TikTok too. Today we will be talking about Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. And from what I have heard from this book, it will make you cry. It will rupture all the dams in your eyelids. It will just make you bawl so that you literally fill the bathtub. And honestly, it'll just dehydrate you like a prune if you don't drink water. So, first of all, let's drink some water. Now that we're all hydrated, we can talk about how this book will make you sob like a little baby rabbit. That's all I know from this book. I know there's video games. Honestly, this gives me like Fault in Our Stars with gaming. I don't know if I'm right, but from the gist of what I've heard other people say that I can remember from the past 2 years, that might be it, but I may be wrong. I will correct myself later on. And in this video, we will follow the roller coaster of emotions that this book will give. I will give updates with this book, don't worry. And the updates will be spoiler free. So this will be a spoiler free reading vlog because as much as I love to capture all the emotions that this book can give, I also want you to be interested in reading the book if you haven't read it. But I will also kind of give in clues for those who have read it to know where I am in the book. So they're like, it's that moment. Yeah, that moment made me cry too. When I'm giving these updates, right, please don't complain that I look like a gremlin. Don't complain that I literally just dug myself out from a hole and I'm pruning or whatever, or I'm like as red as a tomato, because I want this to be as real as possible. And if there's a tear-jerking scene, I will just turn on the camera and be like, I'm here. Like that's what you would expect, okay? Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Hi, future Christine here. I look kind of dilapidated, but it's okay. I just really needed to show you this. So when you get books on your Kindle, whether it's Amazon or through your library, you will see like highlights. So you will see highlights like this, and literally this is peer pressure. Knowing 13,000 people highlighted the same like quote makes me feel like I should quote it for some reason. This is so much peer pressure. I'm like, oh, maybe this quote is so important for people to highlight this so much. But I didn't really vibe with it, but I'm like, oh, I should highlight it. There is literally another quote where literally 9,000 people have highlighted. Can I get a break? It's been like 3 pages since the other one. And I already got peer pressure to highlight that one. Now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get peer pressured again. I'm sorry. It's a me problem, I think. I'm at around 14% of the book, and I think I get the gist of it mostly. So we follow Sam and Sadie, and what I would think is their eventual romance that'll spark, because that thought's just creeping into me. It's great, it's cute. Sadie and Sam both bonded over video games at the age of 11 in a pediatric hospital because Sadie's sister had cancer. Don't worry, she survives. That's not a spoiler. And Sam had a really tragic accident where his foot got shattered in 27 places, like the bone. He didn't speak to anyone. He was like literally almost a mute and very antisocial until Sadie came to him, and then they started bonding over Super Mario, and it's so cute. But eventually they fell out because Sadie was using the time with Sam as a community service for her like bat mitzvah, because it was like helping the less fortunate. Sam found out and they fell out during that time, but they knew they had like a really good bond. So when they met again, like now in their 20s, it's like a really fast like meetup, like, hey, how are you? They were having such a cute banter. It's like, oh, you never really left that person that you've always been conversing with them all these years. Like, that's how connected they are. I love the fact that Sadie slept with, you know, her professor, but also like we find out because it was because she was really lonely, and that was so sad. But honestly, I get her, but honestly, I don't, but I love her. So that's where the story is. That's like the synopsis, and let's get to our thoughts. I'm getting yearning puppy, like yearning golden retriever puppy vibes from Sam, just from the forefront of chapter 1, and I am loving it. I love the yearning types. Literally, he doesn't even sexualize her. He's just wanting to be with her, just having some time, even if it's a conversation. While Sadie does say like, oh, because her boyfriend's near here, that's why she's here. Sam wasn't even possessive at all with that comment. All he thought about was how gorgeous she is, how beautiful she is, the twinkling in her eyes, her smile, how much he's missed those. And I'm just like, ooh, we love a man that doesn't objectify. Honestly, I didn't think I would like the writing, because when it comes to like fiction that's placed in a college setting, I'm a little like turned off from it, because like if you're in Harvard, if you're in MIT, which they are in, the dialogue can sound pretentious or a little bit snobby, right? But these people, they're so down to earth. The author doesn't really use big words just for the reasoning of like making the book sound intellectually like profound. She uses like just normal down to earth relatable words, and I honestly dig it. The way she meticulously makes the wording is like so natural, to the point that like you would be friends with the characters, you know? It's like a conversation with them rather than a story, which is crazy. And I honestly love them, even though I'm just at chapter 3. I think that's all the updates I have right now. Also, it's raining. It's like hard rain with thunder, so it's like the perfect ambiance for reading. So let me just binge it. Hi, so I am almost around 40% of the book, which means I'm almost done with part 3. And I was wrong about the romance. And right now, it's not a heavy romance plot point, but rather a friendship one, which is honestly so cute. I love the friendship more. And basically, we follow them try to make a game, and we really see all the creative processes and all the hardships that one has to go through while making a game, and while also working with other people. But we also discover more of the disability aspect of Sam's life, because, you know, he had really messed up foot, how that's unnerving in his life. But we also talk about how sexist the gaming industry is, and how they don't really put women in the forefront. She programmed most of it. She really carried that game for her to not get any recognition because she's female, and that's honestly, it burns my soul. It's really the turmoils of working together as a group and having to decide collaboratively on what to do, and how are you going to split up the work, how are you going to split up the credits, right? The format of this book is really fun because it mixes in together the past and the future and the present. You know, while they're talking about the present, there's like little clips and glimpses of future interviews about the game, so you know they're going to be successful. So it's like the journey of how did they get there. And I love the interviews because it just shows how much they've changed as people compared to when they were still working on the game like years before. They talk about Tekken, they talk about Mortal Kombat, they go in depth with Mario and Pac-Man, and it literally feels like you're playing it alongside them. Oh, I also like the fact that they talk about game engines, and the fact that sometimes you have to use someone else's game engine because you cannot make one. But then, you know, they'll have some rights for your game. It's just a lot of political aspects behind making a game, and it's so interesting. Girl, if you thought this was romance, nah. this is a contemporary. Maybe there's gonna be a romance subplot or whatever. I don't care. I'm just so interested on their next games. This is such a good read. I went to my doctor's earlier and I did not even want to go in the room because I was so into reading this. Also, I hope the quality changed a little bit. I got a camera. I could have clipped it on myself, but I like the fact that I'm holding a camera, okay? So I am at almost part 5 of the book, around the 50% mark, and my goodness, man, do I love experiencing the human experience and a different point of view other than my own. It's honestly magical to see communication at its best and at its worst. And also, like, knowing that every single person has different intentions, whether good or bad, and that coincides with how they communicate to other people. I know this is weird, but I love the fact that people miscommunicate all the time, whether it's for the other party's good or not. It's just so raw, and I guess it's the epitome of human nature where each person thinks they're doing the best of the situation, that their thoughts and actions is the best route they can take, and that's the best out of anyone's. Each person thinks that what they're doing is the best, and that's that. If everyone thinks that, oh, what I'm doing is the best, then you won't listen to anyone else, and then miscommunication happens. So I just love the intricacies of the human mind. This was and still is the most fun read. While I did mess up in the beginning parts of this video by saying that this was a romance, it's not. It's contemporary. It's showing you how people have disagreements, have different thought processes, have reasonings for hiding things, and it's absolutely beautiful. Man, I love this. Ooh, this is chef's kiss. Dude, I'm at like the 70% mark. Part 6, end of chapter 4. Something bad is gonna happen. I just woke up and I was like reading and I was like, oh my goodness. What a troll. I thought this was like a crying moment. No, I got trolled so hard. I got trolled of a chapter that's 1 page long. What? This is so dumb. This is so funny. Oh my gosh, I never had a book do that to me. I've never had a book that really trolled me. Wow, that was an experience. I didn't hate it, but it was an experience for sure. I don't know if I'm getting trolled or not. Is this gonna be serious? I thought I got trolled, but I don't think I am. Cause this is some metaphorical personification, whatever you want to call it. So basically, I just started the chapter NPC. Shit is going hard when it switches from third person to second person POV. Like, it's you. Oh, I literally just woke up. I haven't even taken out my retainers, huh? I'm sorry if I look disgusting, but you'll have to deal with it because the book is bussing so hard. Okay, so I don't think this is a spoiler at all because it's a quote and it's very vague. But if you don't even want quotes in here, I'll link a time skip. Memory, you realized long ago, is a game that a healthy brain person can play all the time. And the game of a memory is won or lost on one criterion. Do you leave the formation of memories to happenstance, or do you decide to remember? So where were you when this began? What? Excuse me? What do you mean by that, sir? Sir? No. Huh? You can't do that to me. Please, what do you mean? I imagine being called an NPC. Aw. What the heck? Also, I want to say that I've been kind of bad at explaining the book because I made it seem like it's Sadie and Sam's book when we learn a lot more about different characters and their lives, and they honestly have a big role. While the two main POVs are Sadie and Sam's, there's just a whole arsenal of cast, and I don't want to forget them. I'm at the part of the book where the people that we need to be the most rational for the sake of the majority of people are not being rational, but actually they're just being annoying pricks. Like, honestly, they're so annoying. It's so infuriating to listen to their dialogue with one another. They've just become awful people, and their relationship is even more destroyed than it's ever been. It's just so hard to read, but I guess it's a great mirror for actual relationships that happen in real life. Oh my god, it's so annoying though, but I love it. The fact that the author managed to make lovable characters into the most annoying ones is a feat by itself. So I am at around part 9 of the book, which means I have like 60 more pages until this finishes. I have not had a tear-jerking scene, and I thought I was gonna have a lot of those. Maybe the next 60 pages will make me depressed. Well, I finished the book, and I'm left feeling a little neutral, let's say. I'm not like crying or anything, but I'm not wholeheartedly disappointed. I think that I came into this book with the wrong set of expectations. I thought that this was going to be a roller coaster of emotions, like, let's say, a water park ride. But instead, this was like the lazy river. It's fun, it's enjoyable, but it's not that exciting in a way. And that's not a bad thing. This is a book more on growth rather than emotional turmoil and manipulation by the author to make you cry. Instead of making you cry, like certain events that should make you cry, just make you rethink about life in a different perspective, and I think that's magical. That's beautiful. Instead of thinking about that situation super sad, super depressed, it gives you a little bit of hope, gives you a different eye, it makes it a little bit more beautiful, so you won't have to fear it, you know? I'm rating this a 4 out of 5 stars. Because I put the wrong set of expectations on it. I got, a little bit disappointed, which is totally my fault. But it is a great book. It's literally so unique. I've never seen a book like it. So what is this book exactly? Well, this is a book of humanistic growth from early childhood to late adulthood, where we see the emotional growth of the characters that we care for so deeply. We uncover and peel all of the layers that makes a person or makes their character or person specifically, and how those specific characteristics affect their interactions with others and how they deal with certain situations that life has given to them. So this is not a love story. I know I kept saying yearning in the beginning or love. Well, I was wrong. This is not a love story, but rather it's a story of the different aspects that love entails. Love can be platonic, love can be magical, love can be shattering, love can be obsessive, and most importantly, love can just be vile, could just be disgusting, And this story just uncovers all the aspects that love can be, not just romantic love. Certain big life scenarios or events that are depicted in this book is the most unique portrayal that I have seen regarding those specific events or life situations. Rather than filling it with a volcano of manipulation and emotions that make the reader cry, it is filled with hope. It is filled with metaphors, and it uses games as an instrument to see a different side of that emotion, to see a different side of that scenario. Using video game descriptions or metaphors in parallel to life or the human experience makes you understand that life, the same as a game, is truly impermanent. And I think that that is the main teaching point of this book, where no matter what situation, you just have to keep trying over and over again until you get a good ending or the ending that you want. The people in this book I loved them and they got so annoying, and then I started hating them at the end, and then started loving them again. And I feel like that's so true within life in general. You can't love a person 100% of the time. You're gonna have disagreements, you're gonna have fights, you're gonna have arguments. And that's just the beauty of relationships, right? It's how you deal with them. What if the person's just 0% battery life? Like they have nothing left. What do you do? And relationships are a two-way road. It won't work if only one person does everything. And depending on how much you love that person, the amount of effort will really show when that specific person's not in the best state. This book was beautiful in a hopeful way. I'm glad I didn't cry from it. I'm glad that I didn't bawl my eyes out, but rather I got a different perspective of relationships and the world in general in a more hopeful lens, in a more beautiful and an inspiring way to look at life. I'm sad that I didn't rate this book a 5-star, but knowing me, I do love to just cry a lot, and I love books that really hit you so hard. And that didn't do this for me, which is not a bad thing. It's just my preference. Thank you for joining me in my journey, and I hope you pick this book up for yourself. Like, I truly recommend it if you're really into video games, or or you've played video games in the past. Pick this up. There's a lot of references to it, and it's just a unique book that everyone needs to experience at some point. So, yeah. I hope you enjoy this, and hope you have a great day, and make sure you drink water. Don't be dehydrated. Bye bye.